All right, so we are going to cover 9.3 from the practice exam. Um, so after step 4, right, we are evaluating each interval and we determine if it's positive or negative. So we know our first interval, negative infinity to 0 is positive, our second one's negative, and our third one is positive. So our step 5 to figure out 9.3. So I'm just going to write 9.3 above it. Is we want to draw a number line. So we want to draw the number line, right? And we're going to add the critical points to that number line. So here's our number line, and there's 0, and I should probably make that a little more over. Alright, so 0 is going to be right here, and then 2 is going to be right there. I'm going to draw these dashes just so it's clear what section is for which. And then above it, I'm just going to say, okay, this side is positive, this side's negative, this side's positive. So it's exactly what we did over here, right? Positive, negative, positive. We see positive, negative, positive. And you can just write pause or increasing. And this is decreasing, or negative, and this is increasing. So if the function's positive and increasing, then we know that our function, that x is going to get greater, right? So we know it's going to go up like this until we reach this point right here. And now we're looking at the section in between 0 and 2. And so since it's decreasing, it's going to go down. And then we're going to mark that point. And our next section is increasing, so we're going to go up. All right. So looking at this, we can see that this point at 0, there's going to be a local maximum, and at this point 2, there is going to be a local minimum. So this is how we determine which points are local maxes and which points are local minimums. So after we do this, to get our final answer, we're going to have to plug in the numbers 0 and 2 into our original f of x. So now we plug xc equals 0 and xc equals 2 into f of x because we want to write our final answer as a point. All right, and our original f of x was x, it was x minus 5 or x plus 5? Sorry, I have to scroll up even further. It was x minus 5. All right. So it was x minus 5 times x to the 2/3. So at x equals 0, we have f of 0 is equal to 0 minus 5. It's equal to 0 to the 2/3. 0 times anything is just going to be 0. So from this, we know our y value is 0, so we get the point 0, 0, which is what we're looking for. We're looking for that point where the local min and maxes are. And then we have at x equals 2, f of 2, we plug in 2 for wherever we see an x. We have 2 to the 2/3. So 2 minus 5 is going to be negative 3. And then we also have that 2 raised to the 2/3 power. So we can square that 2 to get a positive 4 raised to the 1/3 power. And that is going to be our final answer. Or not final answer. We have to then write this as a point. My bad. So we started with 2 as our x value, and we know our y value is negative 3 times 4 to the 1/3, which is our local minimum. All right, so this one is the max, and this one is the min. All right, so our final answer for 9.3 is going to be there's a local max for f of x at 0, 0. And then there's a local minimum. I'm just going to write min for f of x at 2, -3 times 4 to the 1/3. And that would be our final answer for that problem. I hope this helped. Yeah. Thanks, everyone.